Welcome to Artists Who Love the Knicks. My name is Bob Baldwin. I'm your host. We cover everything from music to sports, and every once in a while we speak about things in the political arena. Today we're honored to be joined by a gentleman who has dedicated his career to business leadership, community empowerment, and public service. He's now seeking to take that experience to Washington as a candidate for Congress representing Maryland's 5th District. Walter Kirkland joins us to share his vision on economic growth, innovation, education, public safety, and creating opportunities for families and businesses throughout the district. Walter, thank you for taking the time to be with us today, and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you for who you are. Love your music, love your character, and what's up, homie from New York?
Mount Vernon night.
Mount Vernon night, that's right. New
How
York
long,
strong.
how long you been in Maryland, Walter?
Bob, I've been down here about, my God, 30 years.
Wow. Okay, so you are definitely a Marylander, as they say, right?
Yeah, you know what? I think I've spent half my life in New York and half my life down here. So when I think about my age, yeah, about half and half. But I still associate with New York big time. That's why I'm so happy the Knicks did win the NBA championship,
Oh
Bob.
my God, that's
Was it after 30 years?
53 years in the
Oh,
making.
53
Yeah,
years. Oh my God.
yeah,
Hey,
it's been a while, brother.
and I know, Bob, you probably remember, man, I used to watch Dave DeBusschere. A lot of
Oh,
people don't realize these
yeah,
names.
it's great.
Dick Barnett,
Come on, man.
Willis Reed, Walt
Yes,
Clyde Frazier.
yes,
I knew the
yes.
starting five, man.
And they all went to be like presidents and senators, and, Bill Bradley,
Yeah.
and Earl Monroe. I saw him about a year and a half ago. He was hanging in there. So some
Yeah.
great some great teams, and this is another great team, man.
Another great team. And, Brunson is just, he's an anomaly, Bob. He is
Yeah,
not a big guy, but he knows how to use the angles. He's a lefty, he's a southpaw. I love watching him play, man.
he's got great angles. He shoots that basketball like he's shooting pool. I mean, his angles are just
Yes.
like incredible.
Yes. And, he's shooting against these big guys. So his arc has to be nice. I mean, I give him a lot of credit.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, congratulations for you for running for office, man. At what point in your life did you wake up and say, Maryland has got some serious concerns and I need to get in the mix for making change in Maryland?
Well, I've been asked to run many times. I wasn't ready. I think I've been lifing forward. You and I talk about this all the time. Life has a way of waking you up, and you got to stay woke in 2026 with the gerrymandering. And then what happened yesterday? I don't know if you heard, they had a wrestling match at the White
Mm,
House lawn,
I did.
and one of the people called Barack Obama's wife, Michelle, a man,
Oh boy.
and it's painful.
Yeah.
So we are in a different world, a different state. You and I are about the same age,
Yes,
and
sir.
I feel that we're reverting back to Jim Crow about 35 years. So it is time for somebody who is feisty, who is fiery, who's fact-based, who's transparent, who's the grown-up in the room, which works with votes. I've
Mm-hmm.
been saying that on the polls, and it resonates with people over 60 because you don't want someone in their 30s or even from another country. They don't want to even understand the struggle. I'm running against three Africans, believe it or not, and nothing against African people, but they're really trying to take over the world with our doctors, medicine, business. I'm a true American, whether they're born here or not, but my lineage is in America.
Sure.
And Congress is not something to play with. This is a very respectful position.
Yes.
You need someone who's been lifing for it. And yeah, I just think it's time. It's time to get involved, and people are looking for change.
You're taking over, hopefully taking over Steny Hoyer's
Yeah.
slot. He's been there for 45 years.
Yes, yes. He's 87. He had a stroke last year. But
Right.
you need a new perspective.
Yes.
It's time. So he had a stroke, health condition. That's the only reason why. This is
Yep.
a very powerful position, Bob.
Yep.
This brings in not just inside trader, but it brings in a lot of power, status, and influence.
Uh,
Judges, appropriations, war,
mm,
infrastructure. This is a significant role below the president.
hmm
Even though this president, for some reason, doesn't want to listen.
hmm
Congress votes on the war, not him. But
True.
they're letting him just go shotgun.
He's taking
Come
every
on,
shot he
man.
could take.
Yeah, yeah. So I believe with my experience as a small business owner, as you know, Bob, I've
Yeah,
worked in corporate America for 30 plus years, 10 years with Xerox, got some of the best training in the world, 10 years with Honeywell as the national account manager,
sure.
7 years with GE Healthcare, which was my most rewarding job financially, selling ultrasound to doctors.
Hmm.
And then the last 5 years I've been doing PR marketing, gives me the experience and the background,
Right.
I think, to be ready for this position. You need someone who is relatable. And this is what I get all the time. Walter, you're so relatable. You
Hmm.
need the grown up in the room who can be in these appropriation meetings, who can debate, who can delegate, who knows what delegation means
Sure, sure.
versus just telling someone what to do.
Uh-huh.
And I think I have all those skill sets when you're working down the middle. And that's what we need is to work down the middle.
Well, on a small level, I've seen you do that running your golf event, and you ran
Yeah.
that thing like a well-oiled machine, man. So if that's any taste of what you're going to do at Congress, they're going to be in for quite a treat.
They are.
You're
They are.
small. You said you've been. How long have you been a small business or minority-owned business at this point?
I would say the last 7 years, I worked for corporate America for those big companies, and I learned a
Sure.
lot from that. But probably the last 7 years, and I've helped companies grow their business. I've helped companies build their value proposition, and it's been exciting. It's been a different way. So I think you need someone who's been in a lot of different life situations. I've
Yes.
personally been involved in about $30 million in deal
Right.
closures.
Uh-huh.
I've been at the table, um, had many different situations. I've failed forward. I've had, like Denzel Washington says from Mount Vernon, New York, you got to fail forward. I've
Sure.
had a lot of those experiences too, but I've also had a lot of successes. And I
Absolutely.
think you need somebody in Congress who understands those type of situations. And this is what you need. You have to multitask, but you got to be seasoned. And
Yes.
that's why what I've learned in these debates and forums, man, I'm blowing them away, man, because they just are not in the moment.
Right.
They're trying to get a paycheck.
Uh,
You need somebody who understands the magnitude of the 250th anniversary of our country.
mm,
I understand the history.
sure.
You
Sure.
understand the history.
Right.
My main competitor is Adrian Abafo, who's 31 years old. He is African. He's a delegate. He's taken $3 million in PAC money.
Oh my
I'm going to say
God.
that one more time to your listeners and viewers. He's taken $3 million in PAC money. There's dark money. Dark money for your listeners is money, a part of the big machine. We have a lot in politics that's called the machine. You know what I mean, Bob? The machine is behind the scene, dark money. This is it's called a ballot that's on the ballot. And what they do is they want to push it through because once you're in that machine, you're like a puppet.
Right.
I'm not a puppet.
Right. No, he never been one.
Um, Never been one and never will be. And I
Sure.
think when people get to meet me and they spend time with me, I met you I forget how I met you doing an event. It's a different type of situation. And these guys are involved for the wrong reasons. And I think that's what makes me so unique.
Now, I was
Yes.
doing some stats on Maryland. 313,000 minority-owned businesses. 25%
Hmm.
of the state of
Hmm.
companies are minority-owned. Uh, how are you going to ensure federal contracts reach local small businesses rather than the large corporations?
I think what we have to do, and honestly, you got to look at it from a business perspective, Bob. You have to look at the as is state in quality terms. What's happening now as it relates to small business? How many accounts do we have? Look at a geographical historical profile as it relates to black-owned minority businesses. Look at it, do a gap analysis in terms of what are the total amount of businesses, and make sure that we have parity with balance. Now,
Right.
obviously, in light of who we are and what's in the White House and all the cuts they've had with black-owned businesses, with black organizations, black statues, John Lewis right now, God rest his soul, is turning in his grave. We need to focus on that John Lewis law. It's a voting law
Sure.
where it takes away from the gerrymandering and all this other stupid stuff about a power grab. For your listeners, I have nothing against white people. Some of my best jobs, I was hired by white people, but there are some racist white people out there that this is all about power, bro. We
Yes.
have 330 million people in the United States of America, Bob.
Hmm.
We have 10 million, 11 million that are minority.
Hmm.
Think about that percentage. And we're starting to change, and the world's going to look like you and I. You and I are going to look like the world right now. And they just have a problem with that. It's a reality of time. The next 20, 30, 40 years, we may not be here, but the world's going to be brown.
Right.
And that's the problem, what's happening with all this power grab right now. It's about power and influence. We got to get strong people that understand who they are. I'm not racist, but I'm going to try to do the right thing as it relates to the numbers. So it's always about numbers,
Yep.
parity, numbers, as is, gap. Look at the gap. And me staying in the middle, say, hey, look, let's say we have, I don't know, 300,000 small businesses. I'm just throwing a number.
Sure.
And 90% of them are white majority owned companies. Um, why that? That's your argument. And then try to explain why we have those differentials. So that's how my mindset would be is this is the as is, these are the numbers. Talk to me. Why do
Sure.
we have this percentage and how do we impact that? I'm not saying impact it by 80%, but can we pivot a little bit and maybe increase it by 10 and just slowly move the needle, if that makes sense.
Don't make it so disparate from the state percentages.
Correct.
Hmm.
And diversity. I was on DC News, and this man they kept pressing. Well, why do you think we need set aside? Why do we need minority? Why do we need laws to regulate? Because you know why? Because it makes it fair. Diversity is what the world's about. We need diversity. It makes us better, Bob.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
And I think I honestly I just think white people, man, they're just afraid, bro.
Mm.
So I would definitely use fact-based information based on what's happening now and what has to change.
Right. 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 Right.
So
What,
hope that
what,
makes sense.
no, it does. It does. What federal barriers do you believe are hindering minority entrepreneurs today?
I think federal barriers, with Sam, I've worked with some contracts myself, federal
Hmm.
contracts. Is just us being astute enough to understand where to go, how to
Right.
go,
Right.
and how to apply. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't understand the process. Some of the best opportunities and job opportunities I've learned from white people. So, I would say 95% of white people are really cool and pretty good, but there's 5% that are just, I'll be honest, they're assholes. So I think we need knowledge is power. And we need to benchmark and work with people of color and non-color to determine federal opportunities. But what I don't like is when you get these opportunities and we don't perform. It's always about performance. As
Correct.
long as we perform, Bob, we're from New York City. We got to perform in
That's
life. If
right.
you don't
That's right.
perform,
It's a
I don't care
performance-based
what
state.
I don't care what color you are. And this is why I've worked well. And Bob, I got to share this with your listeners. I was down in a place called Calvary County today. It's a white area in Southern Maryland. I said, let me just go down there and just meet some of these folks. It's very rural. It's down a place called Pennsylvania Avenue. 'Cause I think you
Hmm.
come down here
Hmm.
sometime, all the way down Calvert.
It's a nice area. I've been there one time.
Right. So I go down to the polls just to get a flavor. So I get there. You know what it is, Bob? All these white ladies are sitting there, probably my age and older. And the lady says, well, who are you? I says, I'm Walter Kirkland. Well, what position are you running for? She says, well, are you running for that position where there's 23 candidates? Just to let you know this, I'm running against 23 candidates.
Wow.
And then she says to me, you know what? I hear this guy, and they got this thing called a ballot. This is a ballot. And on this ballot, they put together who they think this is a Democratic. They have all these sample ballots. These are called sample ballots. These are who
Hmm.
people they want to prefer. And on here they got Adrian Boffo, and let's see, where's Walter? Yes, Walter Kirkland's in the middle. So this right here, if you can see this, there's a little dot here,
Right.
is what they're suggesting them to do. So the lady says, you know what? I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not voting for Adrian Boffo. I said, why? Because he's taking all that PAC money. Is that right? Well, I said, yes. He's taking
Ooh.
$3 million.
Okay.
And then she starts talking to me. She says, well, what are you about? I never met you. Man, I started telling her president of the 100 Black Men, or Hall of Fame, track and field, business owner. She was like, you know what? I'm voting for you. And I converted
Nice.
her and three other white women by meeting me, the reason why I share that with you, this is all BS, bro. This is
Right.
all
Right.
contrived. This
Right.
is called a sample ballot.
Sure.
And with old people, sometimes, they walk in there with the glasses and they're like, well, they don't know who to vote for. So they'll just go with what's preferred.
Exactly.
If I had more time and I could be more visible, I know I could win this thing categorically.
Let's talk about artificial intelligence. I saw this on your website. I got a
Yep.
chance to look at your site, man. You covered a lot of ground, man.
Oh, thank you, bro.
You made AI innovation a major campaign priority. How can Congress encourage AI development while protecting workers from job displacement? Before you answer that, I was in North Carolina doing a gig, and there was a trucker there who's from San Antonio who was doing a run. He said they got automated trucks going from Dallas to Houston, no driver.
Automated trucks?
Yo, I mean,
Ah,
big. Talking about 16
no way.
wheels.
And nobody's in there? I don't like that, to be honest. I think AI is critical. It doesn't go away. It is something that with guardrails, because it makes us better. I'm sure you use AI, but you cannot rely on AI. I would not be comfortable with having trucks not having a driver. I just think
Amen.
it's ridiculous. It's
Yeah,
it's it's a safety factor.
of
As a
course.
matter of fact, they've had driverless, whatever you want to call it, cars where
Waymo.
they Waymo, where they've had accidents, people been killed.
Yep.
It gets confused. What redundancy? I know you're a performer, you're not a tech guy, but what
Right.
redundancy with computerization happens if the car overheats or if the
Sure.
mainframe overheats and it loses
Exactly.
its signal?
Exactly.
Those are the things that, from a redundancy, I don't trust.
Right.
You need human intervention when you're dealing with moving cargo, moving even babies, families. I totally disagree, but I do think AI is an incredible tool that, from an efficiency perspective, it only gets better, but with caution and human intervention. So
Correct.
from a federal perspective, continue to research dollars. If we can spend $1 billion for a war per day, we can spend 1 billion for technology that makes us better and makes it good and makes it a better opportunity.
Understood, brother. Understood. Let's jump into economy and the cost of living. Families across the Maryland's 5th District are struggling with housing, food, and healthcare costs. What
Mhm.
is a specific federal policy you would support in your first term to lower costs?
Yeah, lower cost is something that, you see what happened with when the strait was closed with this stupid war. Gas went up as high in some places as
Yeah.
$6 a gallon.
Yes.
It's coming back down now. I don't know where you are, how much is it in Atlanta? What
In
is it in
Georgia,
Maryland?
it was kind of high there for a minute.
Yeah, yeah. So now it's down to 350, 370, which is more
Correct.
manageable. And before this war, it was actually down to, like, I think it was close to
Two and a half, right?
289. Yeah,
Yeah.
289. So um, we got to continue to find ways to lower our food prices and utility prices. Let's start with utility. Utility is something that here in Maryland, oh my God, my last bill was close to $1,000, and I have a townhouse. I don't even have a big mega
Mm.
mansion anymore, and it was $1,000 because what's happening is with these data centers and these grids, it's coming back to us. So we need to find solar, wind, other technology. Solar is free to lower the utility costs and make it integrated.
Right.
That's one piece I would do. We also need to find better ways to treat our vegetation, i.e., drones. From a vegetation perspective, I'm a consultant for a drone black-owned company. I think I may mention that to you, out of New Jersey.
Yes.
And we have technologies where we can treat vegetation with drone technology. It's cheaper, it's faster, it's more cost effective. So bringing innovation. I'm an innovation guy.
Yes, you are.
Bringing innovation. That way, bringing solar relates to utility bills.
Right.
And then the vegetation, the cost goes down. And then, benchmark other countries, excuse me, of how they're doing that type of technology. I think we get a little arrogant that the United States is the only company that has high-end technology. I disagree. I think there's other companies that do things better than we do, i.e. China, i.e.
I agree.
Japan.
Japan.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
We need to benchmark and bring in best practices to lower our costs.
Yeah.
China, as you know, Bob, they'll make anything probably half the price of what we do in anything, machines, ultrasound, cars.
True.
They're just light speed. I think
Right.
Japan makes better cars. They make the Infinity is from Japanese.
Right.
I've had a couple of Infinities. They just make better quality. So we need to benchmark other companies as we go forward
Yeah.
before we say made in America. Those are the things that I believe in from a business mind again,
Right.
best practices. Do a study and do a listening tour with people around the country with specialists and try to implement programs again from a business mind
Right.
that makes sense in certain geographical areas. Like in the inner city, they throw these damn data centers in these inner cities. You know why? Because they think we're not astute enough to understand environmentally. Bob, you and I can get sick from
Yeah.
that water coming through these centers.
EMF transmission
Right.
and everything.
Right. So what you got to do, you have to retrofit these. And when I said this earlier, these white folks were like, man, I'm gonna vote for you. You got to have a retrofit on the back end. So when that thing goes through all that cooling, you need to cool it out in the back end so it's
Yeah.
not having environmental concerns for old people like us.
Yes.
Plus, you need to give people rebates. If you're going to have these data centers, be responsible, look at the square footage, put these puppies on a landfill. How about
Yeah.
putting the landfill where you got junk somewhere with
Right.
solar?
Right. Right.
Think out of the box, bro.
Yep. 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 No,
Stuff
that's
like
great.
that.
I got you, brother. I got you.
Hope that makes
Let's move
sense.
on to public safety. Public safety means different things to different communities and different people. What specific policies would you advocate to reduce violent crime while maintaining trust between law enforcement and residents?
Yeah, I think that's like these curfews. I'm not sure if you've heard about what's happening here in the DMV, Washington, D.C. area. I think we have to have curfews. These kids, and you know my background with 100 black men, I think it's so significant in the inner city, Bob. You know, we're from the New York area, which is kind of not as bad as the Bronx and Brooklyn, but you still had issues. You got to keep these kids busy
Yep.
and engaged. And I think technology like drones and AI. I've been approached by Van Jones from CNN. He has a pop-up AI company to do AI training in inner cities. And we need that type of thing. Like Marion Barry would have these summer jobs, which, you know, granted, he had a lot of personal things going on in his life with drugs and women, blah, blah, blah. But you can't take away what he did with the crime prevention with the youth.
I agree.
We need to have programs around the city in Chicago, Detroit, Atlanta, DC, where you have programs where these kids, if these are good kids, Bob, getting into trouble. These are good kids that I have personally bailed out of jail because, well, why did you steal the Timberlands? Well, Mr. Kirkland, I was bored. First of all, a lot of us bored. And I have a single parent, dumb as it sounds, Bob. I have a single parent and I'm raised by my mom. And I didn't know what else to do. These are good kids getting into trouble.
Because they're not being monitored by the kids because the kids,
Yeah.
parents are
Yeah.
working.
And we as black men, Bob, we need to step up. If we're going to have children, we need to, black men, we're not stepping up enough, bro. We can barely take care of ourselves. You and I are resourceful. You're an artist. You're a business person. You're an entrepreneur. You know why? We grind because we know we got to take care of ourselves. But a lot of black men, bro, they are struggling even to do the right thing, even to keep the lights on. So guess what? How are they going to take care of their kid?
Right.
Real talk. Everybody's not a scientist. Everybody's not a doctor. Everybody's not a successful salesperson.
True.
You and I can pivot, but there's a lot of brothers, bro, man. They are angry, Bob, because of what has happened with racism. And if you're not smart and you're not business savvy, I have friends that are really smart, but they don't know how to run a business. They can't get a job. So that's why this guy Justin Fairfax, if you heard about him, he was potentially a lieutenant governor in Virginia, committed suicide. You know what happened? He had a sexual harassment against him. He was a brother in Virginia, married to the dentist. I don't know if you heard about it. He committed suicide. They were about to split.
Sure.
That's what he did. He committed suicide. He killed himself. Then he killed his wife. His wife was a prominent, beautiful dentist, but he had nowhere to go, bro. There's a lot of black men like that, bro. When you don't have stability in your life, that's why mental health for me is my main objective
Sure.
when I go into Congress.
Sure.
Resources before it becomes catastrophic.
Yep.
We as black men, we are so. Hey, Bob, you and I have been to so much with our family, with our ancestors being raped, pillaged. I can go down the list.
Yep.
Tulsa massacre, across the country 100 years ago. All that psychosomatic, bro, it comes back to us full circle. You and I have been adaptive.
Sure.
You and I have found a way to get out the hood and to be successful. And I'm still challenged by it every day, but at least I fight every day.
Facts.
That's what we're dealing with.
Yes, sir.
And the mental health piece, the resource piece, If you give these kids, getting back to your question with crime, that's how you save the world. You save Chicago, Detroit, New York, and DC, in my opinion.
Right. What is your position on student loan? You talking about kids, student loan relief, debt relief? You know, kids are coming out of school with $200,000 school bills, and they got to pay a mortgage. They want to get married, have a car, et cetera, et cetera. Is that something that's fixable?
I think it's fixable. I think President Biden made an attempt, and I know that's been going back and forth with the federal government. Well, do we fund it? Do we don't fund it? I think we have to find a way. If a kid wants to go to college, I think, in my opinion, if the kid can qualify academically with SATs and ACTs, we should find a way to help pay for their college. It shouldn't be just be a thing if you're all American, if you're all American athlete, or if you're a straight A student. We need to have provisions for the inner city. It goes back to what we just talked about.
Right.
You got a good, I got a good kid. Let me give this is a good example. I have a kid that was my first mentee with 100 Black Men 15 years ago. This kid, Aiden, was 6 years old, ADH, mom can barely walk, dad was in prison, and now he's graduated from a place called Suitland High School. And he got, get this, he got accepted to 45 colleges. Okay.
Nice.
But listen to this, Bob, for your viewers. He's short $15,000 his first year. You know, when he was out there waving, you know, as a person, you wave, you get on the street just to get signs. Well, he was waving with me and about five other people. He came up to me. I hadn't seen the kid in about 12 years, and he just hugged me, and he started to cry. I said, "Why are you crying?" He says, "Because you've always been there for me." When he did that embrace, somebody caught it on a video. We put that on social media. Ray Lewis saw it, the football player, and he's going to pay for his college. So those are the things we got to do more of that to sustain. And let your listeners understand. A lot of our Black youth don't think, Bob, they're going to live past 25. They don't think they have hope. So this is why they kill people. Shooting and killing is a game. If I'm not going to be here at 25, why does it matter? So life doesn't matter to them, Bob.
Right.
And consequences doesn't matter to them.
Yeah.
And we got to find consequences in a good way, not a bad way.
I hear you, brother. I hear that, man. In closing, man, if a voter remembers one thing about Walter Kirkland as on Congress after this interview, voting for you, what would you want them?
I would say I'm a person you could trust. I'm relatable. I'm just like you. There's no difference. And you need somebody. We can't keep doing the same thing we've been doing with old people who are not coachable, who don't listen. I have strong active listening skills. I'm a doer.
Right.
I've closed $30 million. I'm a Hall of Fame track and field. I've worked for major corporations. I'm a mentor. You know, I've mentored probably 500 youth in the last 15 years. I've given out 20,000 in scholarships the last 10 years. I was the chair of March of Dimes. My oldest son, Chase, was born at 2 pounds, low birth rate babies. I was the chair of the Alzheimer's. My dad died because he shot himself in the leg. He had Alzheimer's. He forgot the gun was loaded. So I say all that. I have the business side. I have the community, the philanthropic side, and I have the business savvy and the age to be a congressperson. So when you think of Walter, think of a relatable person you can trust.
Beautiful. We got a couple minutes left, man. How do people reach you? Give me the stats on when the election is, and this is the primary for the Democratic side.
The primary. Thank you, Bob, for making a thorough interview. The primary is June 11th. We're right in the middle of the early election here in the Washington, D.C. area, June 11th to the 18th. The polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. The final election day is June 23rd. But what I need right now from your listeners is donations. If I get commercial and I get visibility, airtime, I'm going to win this race. It's all about donations and paying the piper, if you will.
Got it.
Go to walterkirklandforcongress.com, Walter Kirkland, like Costco, walterkirklandforcongress.com. Make a donation.
Okay.
Any donation, $10, $15. My average donation is $100. That will help me win this. It's not just the money, but money kind of.
Yeah, you need money to do stuff. You No one's gonna give you TV advertising for free.
No matter how much they like you. But
Yeah.
if I get that, that's what I need right now in lieu of donating and supporting and volunteering. Any of your listeners in the DMV that you want somebody to make change, whether you're white, black, Jew, Gentile, I'm the guy. I will make a difference. Go to walterkirklandforcongress.com.
Okay, man. Walter Kirkland. I've known you for 20 plus years, brother. Fellow Mount Vernonite, New Yorker, Knicks fan,
Yes, sir.
and now running for
Come on.
Congress, man. I wish you nothing but the best, my brother.
No, thank you for taking the time. Love your music, man, and just keep doing what you're doing. I know we'll be doing some stuff together as men and as partners. And God bless your audience.
Man,
Appreciate you, Bob.
All right, bro. Cheers, man.
Peace and hair grease.
All that.
Let's send it back home. All right, man. Later.
Okay, buddy.